This truck is $102,000. This truck is $86,000. And I'm a used car dealer, and the only thing that's moving right now is affordable transportation just like this.
What's up guys, John here. Auto repossessions have skyrocketed 23%, and we are walking into what I believe is going to be the greatest auto market bubble in American history.
Over the last month, 1 out of every 5 people that applied for an auto loan got denied.
Car repossessions are on the rise as drivers across the country fall behind on car payments.
So there are literally dozens of reasons of why people can't afford cars today, and of course the obvious factor is the price.
Oh no. $47,000 for this little unit.
And layoffs right now, they are absolutely piling up in the car market.
Expensive full-size pickup trucks, they aren't selling.
And here's a crazy number, 40% of all Nissan dealerships right now, they're losing money.
Beautiful mid-size Nissan Pathfinder we have right here is the Rock Creek. And this one here is about $56,000 MSRP. You incorporate taxes, 7% interest rate, and this vehicle is going to cost you $1,000 a month.
And if this continues, you're going to see more and more and more Nissan dealerships forced to go out of business. Their floor plan costs are getting insane. Their inventory levels are getting insane. And they have to pay interest on all of that inventory every single month that they're not selling. And guess what? Nobody's buying, so they're not moving any product.
A brand new, beautiful, high country Chevy like this is going to cost you about $86,000 Canadian. That's a significant amount of money.
All right, so here's what's crazy. 1 out of every 5 people that actually applied for an auto loan on a truck like this right here has gotten denied in the last 12 months, and I can show you a big reason for it. This truck right here is $80,000.
Brand new trucks are getting out of control too. Prices are way too high.
And you know what? All that free money is not floating around in the system anymore. Interest rates are very high for these vehicles. So people who could afford to buy vehicles 12 months ago, 18 months ago, guess what? They can't do it anymore. The banks are tightening up.
Car prices right now are falling in a very big way. Negative equity is skyrocketing, and consumers have never been in a worse shape.
Prices shot up tremendously during the pandemic, just like it did in the housing market. And now, surprise, surprise, you see a lot of people not able to buy those vehicles.
Hey Brandon, the cost of living crisis is getting out of control. People can't afford new vehicles.
The only way people can buy vehicles is by getting a loan on them. If the banks are tightening, if the prices stay stubbornly high, if the interest rates stay where they are, people cannot afford these monthly payments. It's absolutely insane. They're not going to move cars if they can't get loans for these people.
On top of that, you have interest rates spiking right now. You know, people are paying in the high 7s or even in the 9s, depending on your credit, for a car loan right now. Combine that with a higher price of vehicle, it's unaffordable.
So when you look to your left, maybe you're driving on 95 or 405, look to your left, look to your right, you're not seeing a car, you're seeing a mountain of debt in most cases that consumer can't afford to pay. Right? They're struggling to make these payments.
Dealership profit per unit is down 33%. All right, check this out. 80,000, 85,000, 90,000, 80,000, 80,000, 90,000. This one right here is $123,000.
I believe that most people bought cars in 2021 and 2022 thinking we were going to go back to normal, like 2018, 2019, era of America. Everything was going to be great. Well, they look out right now, the rent's basically doubled, food prices have skyrocketed, the cost of everything has gone parabolic.
Look, check this thing out. This is a Jeep Grand Cherokee right here, and this, $71,000. The Jeep Grand Cherokee used to be a nice, family vehicle, but the average family, they're not paying $71,000 for an SUV. It's absolutely insane.
And even Ram, 8590, Ford, 8590.
During the peak of 2021 and 2022 in the auto market, 80% of all buyers paid over sticker price.
Some people are now paying over the sticker price. They can be thousands above MSRP.
They showed me what the sticker was, and I saw that they had added another $10,000 over the sticker.
And not only did they pay over sticker price, they rolled taxes, tax, fees, everything into a loan.
And guess what? That's what people are doing right now. They can't afford the vehicles, so they're riding their bikes.
According to Kelley Blue Book, 125% was the average loan to value. 125%.
A recent report from cars.com found that new car demand was down 26% in July of 2024 compared to just 1 year ago.
It's a similar story here for the Power Wagon, 193 days supply, or I've got here another Laramie, and you can see 405 days supply.
The new car supply has risen 45% in the same period of time.
So I'm a used car dealer and I sell cars that are $5,000 and under, and guess what? we are almost out of vehicles. And I've been seeing this in the market where, okay, all of our really, really cheap cars, they're going. I cannot keep vehicles right now. And other car dealers are not experiencing that. And that's because consumers cannot afford to buy expensive vehicles anymore. So what happens? They come and they buy cars from me because it's $5,000 and under. This is the only thing that they can afford right now.
Insurance right now, if you're in California, up 54%. Oh, you're in Minnesota? Up 55%. Texas, 23%. Kansas? Okay, 27% increase. People can't afford it. They can't afford it.
These vehicles are out of control and out of the reach of most buyers. That's why vehicles like the new Ford Maverick are selling like hotcakes. They're looking for a break because people are stretched too thin.
And it's so bad right now at Jeep, Dodge, and Ram that shareholders are actually suing the company. So right now it's so bad at Jeep, Dodge, and Ram that their shareholders are actually suing the company. They're suing Stellantis for what they say is defrauding by concealing rising inventories. Well, you know what? All the shareholders had to do was either watch one of our videos or just go to a Jeep, Dodge, Ram dealership and you can see all the inventories here. But what they're saying is that Stellantis basically said things were a lot better than they actually were. And then when the earnings dropped, okay, everybody knows now this is a bad, bad situation. And guess what? It's going to get worse.
And so what we're going to see right now is a period of, as the job market changes and as consumers start to stop paying, it's going to be layoffs and layoffs and layoffs, growing and growing and growing throughout the economy. And following it, millions of cars that are going to be repossessed.
And I've gone the route of trying to buy more expensive cars to actually sell through my car dealership. And what we found out is that, yeah, even though there's lots of interest for these cars, I've got some 2022 Hondas, I got a Toyota Camry over there. Lots of interest for it. But when people go and try to actually get loans for these cars, they get denied. They're not able to get approved by their banks to be able to buy these cars.
Voluntary repossession, skyrocketing. This is all the way dating back 2004. Look at this, voluntary surrender car, voluntary repossession credit score, voluntary repossession credit report. It's just breaking out, breakout, breakout, breakout. It's going off the charts.
All right, so here's something I want to point out too. See all these year numbers on these cars? Well, that means that all of these vehicles are used, and we're at a brand new Jeep, Dodge, Ram dealership. So what I've heard that a lot of these Jeep, Dodge, Ram dealerships are doing is they're getting into the used business. They want to sell used cars more than they do the new ones. They have to discount the new ones so much because people can't afford them, and really nobody wants to buy them, that they make so much more money on their used stock. So if you look at this Jeep, Dodge, Ram dealer here that's behind me, so this is the front end of their store right here. And guess what? On the front end of their store, their show cars, they're not any new ones. They're all their used stock because that's the vehicles they want to sell. That's the ones that they're actually making money on right now. This is a big problem for Stellantis going forward when you have even your dealers that are not wanting to even sell their new vehicles. They would rather sell the used ones, and they're becoming just big glorified used car dealers at this point.
I mean, every industry right now is being hit, whether it's tech, whether you're in trucking, in small business, everybody's in big trouble. And people that are holding on to these car loans, they're in the biggest trouble of all.
But really the most sinister extra increased cost of owning a car has come from the cost to just maintain a vehicle, meaning insurance costs, meaning the cost to put gas in the car, meaning the cost of repairs when you need to take it to a mechanic. All that stuff has gone up exponentially. In fact, this year alone, 3 states are going to be seeing their car insurance go up by 50% this year, and you're lucky if it goes up only by 20 or 30%.
So here's the thing for these dealerships, their profit per unit that they're actually selling is down 33% year over year. That is a massive number. And the reason being is because what can they not do anymore? Well, we have lots full of these trucks. We have cars that you couldn't get 6 to 12 months ago. Now you can buy them all. So what can dealerships not do anymore? Well, they can't charge these market add-ons. They can't charge all these BS fees that were padding their bottom line, because you can just go to the next dealership, get the exact same vehicle, and not have to pay those things. So dealerships are having to become more competitive with other dealerships now, meaning that prices have to come down.
And I remember you telling me when we did our video together that in order for you to sell used cars, you rely a lot on trade-ins. And if people don't buy brand new cars, you don't get a lot of trade-ins.
So just to recap for you, the UAW is threatening to cut production because Stellantis is already cutting production. It's counterintuitive. This is not the way for the UAW to go. This is an absolute ridiculous threat. And you know what? Stellantis probably wants it, because look at all this. They have trucks sitting everywhere. They don't need production to get to these dealers anymore because the dealers can't take them. And Nissan dealers might be in even worse shape than any other dealer in the country right now. Their profits have dropped by about 70% year over year. That's at each one of these dealerships.
I went over to caredge.com, went to the car search, and plugged in a Ram 1500. And let's see what we've got here. The Ram Rebel, the new 2025 version. All right, just got on dealer lots. It's got a $77,000 MSRP. And holy cow, there's a lot of spread from dealer invoice to MSRP. 130 days supply here. We are in Prosper, Texas. I went over and looked at a Laramie, Brandon. You know, the Rebel's a specialty 1500. What about the Laramie? $73,955 MSRP and a 405 days supply of inventory. 243 of these for sale within 100 miles. And only 27 have sold in the last 45 days.
So here's another headwind for the car market and these auto manufacturers. See all these vehicles behind me? These are fleet vehicles. And what we've seen in the market is fleet sales have already peaked. We've had all these companies that were ordering and trying to get loaded back up. Well, we're seeing that now. As they start to get loaded back up, they're going to not order as many as they have been. And this has been a big profit center for a lot of these manufacturers. And now, if this gets softer, it's just another big bad sign for the car market, and especially for all these auto manufacturers. And look, I know I pick on Jeep a lot about this, but I feel like they're really going in the wrong direction. When I say Jeep, I mean Stellantis. So I feel like the company as a whole is going in the wrong direction as far as what vehicles they're actually trying to get out. I mean, you see all of these nice SUVs. They're nice cars behind me, but they're $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. This is not what people can afford right now.
So Ram has an oversupply of expensive $70,000+ pickup trucks, and a huge opportunity for customers to go in and negotiate on them.
I did want to check out one of these heavy duty trucks. This is a 2500 turbo diesel. It's a Cummins, $89,000. Whew, that's a lot of money. So now what are we seeing across the car market right now because of all this weakness from the dealers, from these manufacturers? Well, they have to cut production. If they have to cut production, that means people lose their job. We just had another round of layoffs from Stellantis. We have Nissan that's been laying off. We have GM doing more layoffs. Ford has been doing layoffs. Everyone in the car market right now is feeling the pain, and that means people have to lose their jobs.
So it's no wonder that car repossessions have been exploding and you're able to do all those car repossession videos. It's sad, but it's the state of affairs that we're facing right now in this country.
So now where do I think the car market is actually going from here? Well, I want to spin you around. See all these cars? These are all in recon here at my lot. And I literally just bought all of these cars, and this has been really a rare scene for my car dealership, where we were able to go and load up with all these cars in about a week and a half. So what I'm seeing in the car market is all these dealers are very weak. And now we just showed you a lot on the new car side, but here from what I'm seeing is I go against used car dealers when I'm going to these auctions to actually buy my vehicles. And what I'm seeing is that these used car dealers are not showing up at these auctions. They're not raising their hands as high. That's a little saying that is in the auction world. When they don't raise their hand as high, it means that they're not bidding as high for the cars. And what we're seeing is that we're seeing a lot of these sellers, these franchise dealers that are bringing the trade-ins, they're starting to let go of their cars, so we're able to buy a lot more. Prices are coming down. Here's the problem, though, for you as the consumer. It takes time for all of this to move through the system. All this pain that dealers are feeling right now, it takes time for it to actually get to the retail customer. So right now we're feeling tons and tons of headwinds in the car market on the dealer side, but the consumer won't see it for another probably 4 to 6 months. Consumer retail prices always lag wholesale prices. This is standard in the car market. So what should you do? Well, if you don't have to buy a car right now, don't. Wait these dealers out. Prices are going to continue to get better. I've been saying this for a very long time, and if you've listened to me, you've seen prices drop. Prices were better 6 months ago than they were 12 months ago. Prices are better today than they were 6 months ago. 6 months from now, prices are going to be even better than what they are right now. If you can be patient, you will get a better deal on a car if you wait for it.